Hi everybody, so can you believe it? We're here to do March beauty and makeup favourites and updates. Is it really April the 1st today? Is that a joke? I can't believe it. We're in the fourth month of 2025. What's going on? And this isn't a joke, even though it's April the 1st. It really is April the 1st. So I've got lots of things to show you that I've looked at over the month of March. I'm going to give you updates on them now, tell you which ones I'm enjoying, and I'm wearing, I'd say, some of my favourites because I couldn't choose a #1 favourite from the things I've tried this month. It's been an exceptional month, so I'm wearing some of my favourites. And if you can guess what they are at any point in the video, I would absolutely love to hear in the comments section. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah, I'm 48, I'm not a professional, but I am somebody who loves beauty. And here on my channel, I show you the latest releases, my favourite looks, and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. Please do remember to subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed, because that's ever so helpful and I'd really appreciate it. And if you're already subscribed, welcome back. I really appreciate you all for being here. Anyway, that's enough about me. Let's get straight into this video. Let's start with candles. So you may have, if you watch my videos, seen me talk about candles such as this tulip one burning behind me from Anthropologie. I've become a little bit addicted to Anthropologie candles. So I haven't changed my background candles. These are very much my spring candles. I've got some more sort of a plain one burning behind me, and I've actually got another one that you can't, there. I've got 3 fragrances going on today because the one behind me is rhubarb, and I just fancied a bit of rhubarb fragrance. But that's not to say that I don't get a good throw from the Anthropologie candles. I'm just being very over the top today. But let me show you this one. So this is going to be my summer candle for sure. Look at this pot. Completely and utterly in love with this pot, and it's got the same sort of lid as well. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, this really does have to be used again. I did read something about when you finish a candle, you can put them in the freezer, and that way afterwards you can get what's left out. I've never tried that. If any of you have tried that, please let me know, because I really want to keep this pot because it's beautiful. But anyway, this one has a sort of mango and berries fragrance. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Oh, I love it. Well, the only thing I can read on the back is the word berry and mango, but the sticker has actually gone over it. It says that this was £30, by the way. Oh, it's delightful. So that's one purchase I got, and I'm going to try and be good and just stick to these 2 for summer. So my next purchase from Anthropologie would be for the autumn. Crazy, isn't it? So this one is, look at this packaging, bergamot and green. I mean, just look at that. This would make a fabulous gift. Look at it. It's gorgeous. So some of the information about the candle here on the top, I think. So this says it's a scented candle. Wiltshire Manor is the brand, is it? The Getaway. There's lots of things on here, so I'm not entirely sure. But it says top notes are bergamot and orange, middle notes of green tea and rose, and base notes of white musk. So inside, look at it. Isn't she an absolute beauty? I just adore these candles from Anthropologie. I can't imagine going anywhere else. Now this one has a very gentle fragrance, nowhere near as powerful as the summer one I just showed you. So I don't know what the throw will be like on that one. It smells lovely, but it's nowhere near as powerful. But for the beauty, I'm not really going to complain if it's a mild fragrance. It does smell really nice. So those were my 2 purchases from Anthropologie. So look out for my next ones, and they will probably be autumn, because I'm hoping, as I said, these will last. And I've also still got 2 Anthropologie candles which I haven't finished and one I haven't started, which might make an appearance in the summer as well. So I need to be good and not buy any more until they start selling autumn ones. Oh, my hair, by the way, just want to mention, if you think I look a little bit bizarre today, I used overnight heatless curlers in my hair, and my hair has just gone bananas. It's gone, the curl is just unreal. This is after over an hour of letting it drop. If you saw me put a post up about going to the hairdressers and they curled my hair, and I tried to do it and it burnt my hair, that's why I've tried this heatless curler, which seems to, my hair seems to respond to it almost too well. So yeah, that's why I've got these rather crazy curls today, which won't calm down. Anyway, so moving on next to a mask, but this one's for the neck and the chin area, and it's from the same company that I showed you a face mask recently, a company that I've moved to because they have something that personally suits me. And I say move to, I still very much love Current Body products, but I can't use my Current Body mask anymore because it doesn't have the option to only have red light. I cannot have, let me just get the full details, the red NIR, I always forget the terms. So with the face mask and the neck, it's exactly the same. You can have red only, red NAR, which is the near infrared, and magenta. Magenta is the one you use if you have blemishes. So I can use magenta and I can use red only, but I can't use red NIR. And the MAYSAMA masks give you the option of choosing one of those three, which is something I don't get from the Current Body, which is why I've had to stop using it, because when I use NIR it is actually making my pigmentation worse. I believe it's something like only 10% of people have this reaction, so please don't panic if you're using a mask and you're worried. It's probably not doing that for you, but if it does do it, that's probably why. So look at the shape of this. I've had a neck one before, but this one is even better because it covers the chin. So let me just show you. When it goes on, see how it just sits under the chin, and it really does sit in very neatly. So obviously one of the areas we're most conscious about at my age is here. So it's really helping me to tighten up here. I have to say I'm quite pleased because I did have a little bit more of a loose skin area there, and I'm already seeing some improvement since using this, and I've only been using this for about a month. So I'm delighted with that. So definitely recommend MAYSAMA. I won't go into too much detail. If you look back at my February favourites, I did give a lot more information about MAYSAMA there, because I was showing you the face mask which I'd been testing for January and February. But also MAYSAMA do sell their green Rooibos, I think it's called, the pressed serum. And if you use this, it pretty much doubles the effectiveness of red light therapy. So I always use this. And also I find the neck mask as easy as the face mask in terms of the straps. They just meet with each other instantly. There's no fiddling around. It's really quick and easy. And you can also choose how long you want the mask on for. So, and also something that's very important, which I would just quickly say, is it has the pulsed option, the option to have pulsed light, which really is supposed to increase the effectiveness of the mask. Very important. I do believe there's been some misinformation about pulsed light technology not being as different to normal light, but there's a lot of science behind this. This is very much a science-based company. They've really dug deep into their research, and if you go on their website you can get so much information before making any purchases. But pulsed light is supposed to be so much, I say supposed, but I absolutely believe in the science behind this. It's going to give you better results faster. It also means you can wear the mask for less time, which is great news if you want to just do a quick one. So I tend to do 6 minutes now on face. I've also been using it on my hands. I do actually have a hand mask, which I haven't even started using, from Beauty Pie, but I thought I would try this on my hands. So I've been trying it on my hands, especially because it's got the pulsed light, which the Beauty Pie one didn't have actually. So yeah, I can't tell you much about that because I've only been doing that over the last couple of weeks. So maybe not enough time to tell you if some of these sort of sunspots I've got on my hands here, maybe they'll hopefully fade, and maybe some of the lines on my hands will improve a little bit. But yeah, the pulse light also means that when you put the serum on, you don't have to wait a great length of time for it to dry. You can pretty much go straight in, which was another thing I thought was brilliant, because I always used that serum in the past, even with different masks, but I used to wait a good 20-30 minutes for it to dry. But with pulse light, you don't need to. So there's so many reasons why I think currently MAYSAMA are the standout brand when it comes to masks for me. I think they're fabulous. So I do have a discount code for MAYSAMA. I'll pop that on the screen for you now, but I highly recommend it. And I'm not sure, it's still available yesterday. They're doing an offer, buy one, get one half price. So I'm not sure how much longer that will last, but I'm determined to get this video out today, and I do believe that offer is still running today. So definitely worth checking that one out. I'm not sure if my discount code works on top of that offer, But anyway, if you're watching this later on when that offer's gone, you can use my discount code. But I will link this mask for you below so you can check it out, and it's well worth watching their videos and getting more information. But anyway, and for transparency, this was gifted to me by MAYSAMA. I'm extremely fortunate that they gifted it to me, and I'm extremely grateful. It is a fantastic mask and I am very, very happy with it. So over a month ago, I invested in the Rhode kit. So this is from Rhode, is it Rhode Beauty or Rhode Skin? I'm not entirely sure what they're called now. I just put their website up. Yeah, Rhode Skin is the website name. But you know Rhode, they're now branching out into lots of makeup. But essentially they were a skincare company at first. And I never tried any of their skincare, but I just keep seeing these adverts everywhere that show like nearly a bottle of milk being tipped down Hailey Bieber's face. I don't know if you've seen that. And I am such a fan of milky toners and milky based products. So I gave in and I thought, you know what, let's just try the whole routine. And so I bought the kit. So I was just looking it up on their website to see the price, because it's not a small spend, but at the same time, when I think what you pay sometimes for one pot of cream, certainly I use a night cream, which I do happen to love and rely on a lot, which is the Skin Diary Night Repair. Now that's around £120 for the one pot. But this is 126 for the entire kit, and it's actually saying that you can get it for 117 at the moment. It's saying join the wait list, so I don't know if they ran out of stock. I'm not sure what that's about. But yeah, 117, so that's really not bad at all, is it, when you think about it. So you get this incredibly huge padded bag free with it, which is really high quality actually, and you can get so much in here, so I'm quite impressed with that, and I'll definitely be using that for trips away. Beautiful skincare or bathroom bag. I don't have the pineapple cleanser. I've got that up in my bathroom. I forgot to bring it down. That's probably the one product I've used the least from this set, but it does work very effectively. I used it last night to remind myself. It's a lovely cleanser that does have that sort of gentle exfoliation. It's very, very soft and smooth as you add the water, and it just becomes more creamy. It's very, very pleasant to use, but I've got lots of cleansers. I wouldn't say it's up there with, you know, the absolute number one. It's just a good, nice, gentle exfoliating cleanser in my opinion. But these three, since I started using them, I've used them every single day, and I held off using them. I just tried the milky toner at first, and then I went away to Budapest, as many of you know, and I came back with the driest of skin. I didn't take all my skincare. I didn't take my zip device, which I use every day at home, and my skin felt it. I was out in quite cold, blustery, wet weather a lot, and my skin just felt tough and dry. So I thought I'm going to go heavy on the milk skin routine, and I'm going to just try this every day and see if it fixes my skin, and it really did. So the toner, I mean, I call it toner, it's actually called Glazing Milk. So this is a ceramide facial essence, so it's not called a toner, I'm giving you the wrong terms. And because I think of it as a toner and it's an essence, whatever you want to think, it's actually quite thick for one of these products. Now obviously it's running down my hand, but it's not really watery, which makes it, but it still blends in very lightly. It's not very thick when you blend it out, but it is thicker than a standard sort of milky toner, and it is beautiful. There's no real fragrance with these at all. The packaging on them is very good. I really like the packaging, very modern, very fresh, sort of clean beauty, I think. And then we have Glaze, I think it's called Glaze. Peptide glazing fluid, a dewy hydration layer. So I go in with my SPF after I've put the essence on, and straight after my SPF, I put my vitamin C on, and then I do my SPF, and then I go in with this. So it's quite a lengthy routine, but I wouldn't normally need this much skincare, but right now I feel I do. But here it is, Glaze, and this is again still quite lightweight, extremely refreshing, and it's beautiful. It's a lovely routine. I'm really enjoying the whole sensation of applying it, the whole experience. But my skin, I mean, you can see the sort of glow I get when I use these products. And then the third product, which I thought I would only use at night when I first read the description, it's called the Barrier Restore Cream. So here is the bottle on this, more of a sort of standard bottle with this one. And it does say that people use this before SPF, but I've actually been using this as my last step. So it's essentially been my primer. So when I use this, I don't go in with any primer like my Bobbi Brown face base. I wouldn't need to, because this is obviously the thickest of all of them. And it's that last step to just go in and protect my skin barrier. So there is my hand, glowing beautifully. But that's what I've been wearing on my face every single day since Budapest, and I've had the most beautifully plumped, moisturised skin. I can't say literally overnight it changed. It probably took about 3 or 4 days for me to really feel that that sort of dryness had gone. Obviously I restarted my zip device. The reason, by the way, I didn't take my zip device on holiday with me is the last time I took my zip device on a plane, it actually broke. Zip very kindly changed it immediately with no questions. They were very good. They just asked me to send back the broken one and sent me out a new one, so that's worth knowing if you use Zip. But I would be too nervous to take it on a plane now, which is a shame if you go away for like a week, because I would like to continue my Zip. My Zip is very important to me in my morning routine, which I do before my skincare, obviously. But anyway, really enjoying these Zip skincare products. I think as my skin is becoming back to normal, going back to normal, I can probably go down to skipping one of them. I think it would be, I would probably use one or the other between the cleansing fluid and this one. I don't know which one though, because I love them both, but I do think probably that, especially in the summer, all three would be a bit too much. But certainly it's great as a real repair routine if you want to use all three. But I love them so much so I can see me quite happily going back and getting all three again when I run out, because I'm really enjoying them. Now this isn't open because this is my backup, but I had to talk about this. This is the Diablo eyelash serum. Now I do actually have another serum which I've got a discount code for, which you can look up in the, well, not on this video because I won't include it. All of my other videos I include my discount codes. I just don't have enough room on this video when I've got so many products listed. But I do have another one that I used. I had quite a bit of success with that. I don't want to mention that when I'm talking about a different brand, but you will find it with a 15% discount code, I think. I had a lot of success with that, but I was sent this for free by Diablo to try. And I tried it for a month, and I can honestly say my eyelashes improved 50% more than it did with the other one. That's why I didn't want to mention it, because I feel a bit bad. I don't have any sort of affiliate link or discount code for this one, unfortunately, but they were kind enough to send me another one. But in between sending me this one, I have bought 2 more. So it's become my absolute staple. My eyelashes are tiny. I very rarely see them, but what I've noticed since having this eyelash serum is every time I'm doing mascara, they're starting to lift up and I'm starting to visibly see them, which has never happened before. Honestly, unless I get the curler out, I've never seen them just naturally lift. Now, obviously I have curled a bit today, so you're seeing a bit of a lift, but I feel I've got the healthiest, most full, most visible, longest lashes I've ever had with this eyelash serum. So this one is completely free from parabens, sulphates, hormones, which is the nasty prostaglandin that can cause all these problems with changing colour and all sorts. There's no silicones, no gluten, no fragrance, no PEGs, which I don't know what they are, no phthalates, and no BHT. So it's free of all the nasties basically. And I put this into my eyebrows as well, and I think it's really helping there. And I put it into the eyelashes every single evening. I regularly use this and I highly recommend it. It really is giving me the best lashes of my entire life. That's how good it is. So now moving on to all the makeup I've tried. So firstly we've got the Victoria Beckham by Augustina Spada, the Cell Rejuvenating Illuminator, and I got this one mostly because of the shade that had been introduced, which was this pinky shade, and I really loved this previously. The packaging is slightly chunkier. We've got a magnetic closure. We don't have that sort of nice tortoiseshell pattern, but we do have what I think is exactly the same formula. There's just been a few additions, more skincare added to it, some more benefits. So if you like the previous one, I think you will really like this, and you're getting more skincare benefits, which you can read up on or watch my full review where I go into a bit more detail about it. So you can see that's given me, on top of that skincare, quite an incredible glow. Now that's an example of, I didn't put this on today because I used all three from Rhode. If I was going to use it today, I would have definitely skipped this one. It would be one or the other because that would be way too much product, especially moisturizing product, and I just wouldn't need that much. But yeah, I really love this pink one. It's my new favorite shade. I think it's more of a sort of natural color for my skin tone, and if I wanted to use it on its own with a bit of concealer, I think it would work very nicely. So a very pricey purchase, but it's packed full of exceptionally good ingredients for your skin. So if you just want to top up with that extra special skincare, get a lovely glow, and most importantly for me, the reason I really love it is my makeup sits very well under this, even my Trouble products, which is why I really love it. So if you've got a foundation that's a bit tricky, for me, this can be the solution. So I'm not going to tell you all to go out and buy it for that reason. Maybe it won't do that for you because it's very expensive. But if you do get the chance to try it, honestly, I recommend it. So this month I tested out the Orange TirTir Cushion Foundation. And if you know me, you know I'm already quite a big fan of the TirTir foundations. Exceptional value, but exceptional coverage. And the tiniest little dot of this, if you're not familiar, you literally press in once, scrape off the excess, and you've probably still got too much here, and then tap it in. And I do like applying it with this. So this one is more suitable for oily skin, which is very good because a lot of people with oily skin were complaining that the previous TirTirs just were too oily. This one obviously isn't, but for me, where I have predominantly dry skin, it does work on me as long as I've got a moisturized base. It's offering me exceptional high coverage. The shade is actually a better match for me than the previous shades I was able to get. Does it say on here which number that is? 17C Porcelain, and I think it was 21N, I think, off the top of my head, was the only shade I could get before. But they are branching out with their shade ranges. So if you like the TirTir foundation, if you love full coverage, if you like that really long lasting, locked in, 12 hours later, has not budged, these are the ones to go for. And if you're oily skinned, perfect. Not so good for me because I'm not oily skinned, but I can reach for this if I'm having an oily spell, which I do sometimes get. So it's going to be an occasional use for me, whereas the other ones I could use much more frequently. And a lot of people ask me when I talk about TirTir which ones are my favourite. I do actually have a video showing you every type of the TirTir foundation. Obviously this one's not in it because this is just launched, but my favourite one is the silver. And this is the silver. I just pulled it out of my drawer now. So this one is my absolute favourite, but this one gives a little bit less coverage. It's a bit more natural, which is probably why it's my favourite. But the red is perfect if you're looking for that full coverage. If you've got sort of combination skin, I'd say the red. And then you've also got the pink, which I believe is that better for dry skin, I think, for more dry. So pink would be for more dry. Red would be for combination, so it's a mixture of dry and oily. This one I wouldn't use for oily. I would use this for more dry or combination if you like a more natural look. And then the orange one if you've got oily skin. So there we go. Lots of good options now with the TirTir foundation, and they've increased their shade range. So next up, I've been trying this Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Gel Tint, and my shade is shade 3, Fair Cool. I've actually got this one on today. Every time I've applied this, it has looked absolutely beautiful. I've never had any problems with it on top of anything I'm using. Everything sits on top of it well. It blends out very easily. It's got a lovely natural finish. It does give you quite a glow. So on top of all the skincare I showed you from Rhode, when I applied this today, I had an incredible glow. I needed a lot of powder to bring that glow down, but this is what I'm wearing on my skin today, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's got quite a good longevity for this type of product. I think you get a good 8 hours of feeling like it looks pretty much the same, which is not bad for a type of skin tint, which is essentially what this is, a grip gel tint. I haven't actually used it with the grip primer. I've never really been a fan of the grip primer, but if you have, then please do comment below and let us all know what you think of the two together. But if you like a very natural, very hydrating, very easy to apply skin tint, highly recommend this. And my shade is my perfect match, actually. Did I tell you my shade? Yeah, shade 3 I did. But it is a perfect match for me. So I'm very, very happy with this one, and I'm really enjoying it. So now onto the Estée Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Concealer. So I've done a full review of this, and I went through a few different stages in the video of not knowing if I liked it, because this is not that great for dry skin. So I'm still pretty much of the same opinion, if I'm going to be honest. I do think as long as I've got a lot of skincare, and I do double up on the eye skincare, I use vitamin C cream, and then I go in usually with my Delilah, I always forget the name, the Wake Up Radiant Eye Perfector. Here it is. I usually go in with this straight after, so I've got plenty of hydration. If I ever forget and I go in with this, I can see it. But even when I can, I think the reason this hasn't become my #1 concealer, which it has with everybody by the sounds of it, is because I can just see it. It's very much like I've got makeup under the eyes. Maybe I can't see it too much now, but I can a bit here. I just feel like it's a little bit too full coverage for me personally. So, and it just feels more like I'm wearing makeup than a natural, radiant, hydrating concealer, which is what I tend to prefer. So I think it's very much what you prefer. If I'm looking for full coverage, longevity, and mature skin friendly, this absolutely ticks all those boxes. So I know that that's what most people are looking for. So I think everyone would pretty much love this. But I actually did a video for Delilah very recently with products I've been using on and off for a long time, and one of the things I used was the Take Cover concealer, and this is radiant, and every day I've got this on my desk thinking I need to use it more so I can tell you how I'm getting on with it, and every day I'm arguing with myself because I want to use Delilah. So I sort of made a deal with myself, I can use one either day. But now I've done this video, I'm actually going to put this away and I'm going to use Delilah every day because I much prefer it. I much prefer the sort of serum hydrating finish. But if I really want to go for full coverage at any point, this would be my top choice now. So it's not a fail, it's not really my preference. So I tested some new makeup this month from Isamaya, and one of the things I've really enjoyed using is this sculpting stick. Did I write down the shade I got? Yeah, shade Beech. So this became available in US Sephora. We've been able to get it here in the UK for a while, Isamaya, I believe. So it's a bit of a mess actually, so I do apologise. I actually took this one on holiday because it's so sleek and so easy to take, rather than, for instance, my Rare Beauty contour, which I love, but look at the difference. And also I had that liquid limitation on my flight because I was only taking carry-on luggage, so I had the tiniest amount of liquids. So this was my contour stick, and what I would say is this is not very pigmented at all. Like if I gave you a quick swatch comparison with the Rare Beauty, you'll see what I mean. The Rare Beauty really does give me a lot more, so does the Charlotte Tilbury Fair, the contour stick. But if I show you Rare Beauty next to it, it's also a lot warmer, this shade. So here's the Isamaya and here's Rare Beauty, but can you see the difference in the amount of pigment you're getting? So this, for instance, would go quite a long way, the Rare Beauty, whereas the Isamaya will quite quickly disappear. Well, not disappear, but really fade. Whereas the Rare Beauty, you've got a lot of colour. So I do really like it, but if I just want a soft contour. So I've got that on today. I was very happy with it for holiday. It's so quick to blend out, it's so creamy, but it's also very, very light. So if you just want a tiny trace of contour, this is perfect. And obviously being a pen, is super easy to just roll it up and take it down the nose and all the sort of more complicated areas. And you do get quite a decent amount of product. You get about 3 times the amount that Victoria Beckham's contour stylus has, which I also love. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this one and it's perfect for travel. And I'm keeping it on my desk. I'm returning it to my desk to sit here with the Victoria Beckham one, because I think I'll be using that one quite often, especially for sort of natural days when I'm not looking for full glam. So the next step in my makeup routine is to go in, if I'm using it, with a cream blush, and this one from Isamaya I have not stopped using. I'm going to show you it in the mess it's in, purely to sort of so you can see. So I got mine in the shade Plum, and I think this is the most perfect shade for that sort of underpaint, not underpainting because it's going on top of foundation, but I like to put cream on, then powder, and then blush. That's how I like to do a full glam look. This is just the perfect shade for me. You wouldn't, I don't think you'd think, I say plum, it's fig. Did I say plum or fig? I can't remember, but this is fig. And I think the reason I'm saying plum is I thought that fig would be a plum sort of shade, but this isn't. I don't think it really resembles fig, but I think it's the most pretty pink It is gorgeous, and this blends out like a dream, and it is just beautiful. So if you just wanted to sort of give a generous amount of this and a tiny bit of powder on top, or even skip the powder, it is quite glowy though. I think you might feel you need to set it down, because you will feel a little bit of tackiness. If you go in with a highlighter, I'm not such a fan. This one is like Vaseline, and if you saw me reviewing it, I sort of liked the look, but I didn't like the way it just looked a bit like I've got Vaseline on my face. It's a bit too much. So that's a little bit, it depends on your taste. But this is worth buying just for the cream blush, because it is gorgeous. The packaging is a little bit chunky, a little bit too big. But this has lived on my desk since I tried it, and I use it all the time. Most days actually, since getting it. That's how much I love it. So also from Isamaya, I'm just looking to see, I tried the Metal Lip Balm, and this one I got in the shade Gilded. So this is a gold shade, very much a party shade, and something I think, I haven't gone back to it because of the time of year, because I'm thinking more holidays for me, as in Christmas time, festive looks, because look at that. It's very nice. It doesn't feel like you've got sparkle, it's not at all gritty, very smooth. The packaging is very basic, very thin, sort of plasticky. It's not very fancy like their previous lipstick cases and things, but I think this is gorgeous, and I would quite happily pick up more. I think I said when I did the review I want to go back and get more. I haven't yet because I'm trying to be good. I'm going to wait for a sale maybe, but I really enjoyed that, and I quite enjoyed the lip liner, which I've actually got on today. Not necessarily because it's my favourite lip liner from the ones I've tried this month, but it's certainly a very, very good one, and I just thought the shade worked quite well with my lipstick today. So the shade I've got here is called Bourbon. So if I just show you how that looks on the back of my hand, it's a really nice shade for if you're wearing slightly warm lips, which I am today. So warm, I've got sort of peachy blush on, and it really does last. It's a classic pencil one, so you do need to sharpen it, but it blends on nicely, quite creamy, so it's just a good lip pencil. So I think it's definitely worth trying if they have a shade you want. And then the last thing I tried from them is this one, which is their LIPLACQ, and I've got this one in the shade Ultraviolet. I've got to be honest, I don't know if I've actually gone back and used this again. That's mainly because I've been flooded with, luckily, flooded with violet and lilac sort of toppers, and this one, I don't think this one blew my mind. I think that's another thing, but it is nice. So you can see it there. Maybe I'll put some on now actually. Should I put some on top of my lipstick? Remind myself a bit what it's like. It brings the sparkle straight away. Oh yeah, it is lovely actually. I think because I'm just a bit biased with my obsession for Fenty lately, I don't want to use hardly anything else. Very grippy, not remotely sticky, very comfortable, a little bit plumping, can feel the effect. And the packaging on this one is actually really nice, and I like the fact that you see the product here in the window, so yeah, that's a good one. So now on to setting powders, and if you've been watching my videos then you might know that I think I finally reached the end of my quest for the perfect powders, and that is because I've tried this new incredible loose powder from YSL. So the full title of this is the All Hours Hyper Blur Loose Powder. I've got this in translucent, but I've also been able, my lips are stinging now, it's just kicking in from that. I've also been able to get the pink one. What's it called, the pink one? It doesn't have a name on it. Anyway, I got this from Nordstrom, so I ordered it from the US. I actually ordered the blue as well, and I was going to do this video where I basically put the three together and tried it on, but the blue didn't come, so I'm not sure if it's coming at a later date. They haven't sent me the blue one, so I've only got these two. But what I can tell you is I've been combining the two of these every morning, and I love it. It is the most perfect blurring finish powder in my entire collection, without any shadow of a doubt. I adore this, and it has definitely replaced my Givenchy loose powder now. I've been looking for one and nearly getting there. This is it. This is absolutely it. I adore it. This is actually fine, this one on its own. So is this one on its own. Combined, even more perfect. But obviously a lot of you might not want to do that because I'm sort of tipping a little bit of each into the lid. It doesn't take me long at all, and I really don't mind. But if you're in a rush, just go with one. Either or if you're my complexion, they both work, but it's the best setting powder for, it's giving you blurred finish, it's taking away the stickiness, it's setting your makeup down for the day, it's making your makeup last all day, it's just perfect, it's perfection. And then onto my other fabulous news, which was nearly bad news. The Givenchy pressed powder reformulated. Oh no, my favourite pressed powder on the planet is the Givenchy, and now they've reformulated. So now do I have to spend the next few months searching for the best pressed powder to replace it? Is it going to have that really shocking highlighter sort of element that the reformulated loose powder had? But the answer is no, it doesn't. So the packaging is ever so slightly improved with these, just because of the fact that you can now lift the brush across, which gives you access to the mirror. One of the things previously is it lifted up that way, so it closed off the mirror, and now you've got access to the mirror. And it's just better that way, I think. And it's nice for just taking out the brush for top-ups during the day. But I picked up 3 shades. My favourite one is still 03 for sort of general everyday use all over the face. I picked this one up for the first time, 00. This is the palest, which for my skin tone really only works under the eyes, but it's fabulous for that brightening finish. And I picked up my other favourite shade, which is 01. And none of these have the highlighting issues, and they are basically as good as the original. So these are talc free, but as good as the original in my eyes. I love them. They actually do your setting a little bit quicker. You seem to need less, and you're not going back in as much as I used to with the original, so that's actually good news. Maybe that's even an improvement. So my powder quest is over. I'm going to stop trying every powder that's launched unless there's something incredible about it, because I now have 3 of those pressed powders from Givenchy, along with my backups of the original formulas, which I will still obviously use. And I've now found my Givenchy PRISME LIBRE loose powder replacement with YSL. We did have one other pressed powder, which was very close to taking over had the reformulation gone wrong, and that was this beautiful one here from Lancome. So this is the full title, Lancome Pink Oh La La is the shade, but it's the Skin Refining Setting Powder. Now one of the things with this, can you see it's got this sort of mark on it where I've gone in and out a few times. It's collecting all the foundation across the top. I don't know, can you see that? And it's hard panning, which has put me off it. It's put me off going back and using it because I keep scraping the top off. So you can still use it. I can still get the powder out, but I'm going to have to scrape off. Now obviously I know I'm aware that my puff is going to take the powder and then it will pick up a little bit of foundation and you go back in, and there's not much that can be done about that, but this doesn't happen with my Givenchy. So that's what's put me off this one. But this one is a beautiful shade for under the eye and the face. This can be used all over the face. So that's something that all the powders I've been testing have been an issue. They haven't been good for both, but now the new Givenchy pressed and the old, perfect for under the eyes and all over the face. The same with the YSL loose, under the eyes, all over the face. This one the same. It's just not quite as blurring, not quite as perfect as the YSL. Probably about the same blurring capability as the Givenchy. I just wanted there to be more of a mixture of shades like with the Givenchy. So the fact that it hard pans a bit, and the fact that it doesn't have the 4 colours like Givenchy is why it doesn't win. In packaging it probably would win in many ways just because it's so beautiful. I think it is really, really pretty, but I don't think I'll be using it very much if I'm honest. So this meant I tried 3 new shades from the Dior Forever Glow Maximizer. I already knew that these were fabulous and it's definitely what I'm wearing today. So I got Tutu, which I think launched in the last month, so it wasn't brand new. But actually I've just shown you pink, but I am wearing Tutu today. Where's Tutu gone? Here's Tutu. This one does have quite a glittery sparkle, can you see that? Which you don't get with the pink from what I recall. But I'll show you the 3 I tried. I wanted to try the other 2 on my skin tone more as a glowy blush, and both of them worked for that. So the 2 new ones I've got are Copper, which is this one here, and Flame, which is even deeper and slightly more red, and an almost perfect match for the Charlotte Tilbury, is it called Sunset? I'm sure I did do a video showing that, a shorts video, I just can't remember the name now, but it is almost a complete match. So this one's Tutu, Copper and Flame, and they are just beautiful. But they always have been, these formulas. I'm a massive, massive fan of these formulas. I'm not doing a good job showing you there, but they are absolutely stunning. There they are, slightly sheared out, which is a bit of a better way of looking at them, but these two definitely work as a glowy blush. This one, not so much a glowy blush, the pink doesn't show up enough for me, but it is a really nice, pretty highlight topper, but it does have a bit of sparkle too, so think about that before you try it. But I love them, and I'll be using these all the time, and I'm quite happy now. I've added glowy blush shades to my collection, even though that's not their intended purpose, but it's quite nice to have them for that purpose because they really do work very well for that. So the lighter shades I've got are really nice. The one I accidentally showed you is the pink here, and this is one of my favourites. This launched with the very original release, so this is a really nice, much paler pink. I'm not reviewing now, just quickly showing you, seeing as I got it out by accident. That's how it looks sheared out. It's really pretty. But yeah, I can't ever say to you I don't recommend them because I know that they are stunning. I would recommend doing one cheek at a time because they do have quite a quick dry down. As long as you work quite quickly, they can go underneath powder, on top of powder. They work really, really well. So I tried the 3 new shades this month from Huda Beauty. This is the Huda Blush Filter Liquid. These are beautiful. So this lightest one here is the Bubblegum, and then we have Sunset Lychee, and this one is Intense Guava. And Intense Guava, despite being exceptionally bright on my skin tone, just about works, and you can create that lovely sort of sunset look with it. You need to be really careful. They all have that lovely vanilla scent if you like that, but these are pigmented. So if I just show you there the Intense Guava, see the pigment on that, but it can be sheared out as long as you're really, really careful with the amount you've applied. It does look terrifying like that, doesn't it? But if you watch my review of it, it absolutely worked on me with that tiny amount. And I mixed it with the Sunset Lychee, which is a beautiful shade, really nice for summer. When doing the sunset look, I would go with more of this and the tiniest little dot of that. In fact, I think what I might have done is put it on the back of my hand and then added it in. I can't remember exactly, to be honest with you. But my favourite of the 3 was this one. This one is beautiful as an everyday sort of cool blush for me. This is Bubblegum. And I think this is, well, I know this is my favourite shade from Huda now, officially. This is just my perfect sort of pink. Look at this. Beautiful. These formulas, they blend out like a dream. They can go under powder or on top of powder. They are very versatile. They're very long lasting. But I'm trying to wash this one off now and it's not coming off that easily if you want some indication. They are very, very good blushes. They're one of the absolute best. They are up there with the best, which for me is the Armani blushes, so liquid blushes. So these huge hits. I'm going to keep Bubblegum on my desk probably forever because that is how good it is for me. These two I'll put away for occasional use, but love them. But talking about liquid blush formulas, MAC came out with these strobe liquid blushes. I ended up going back and getting more because I love them so much. The formula of these is actually as good as the Huda. So I think maybe companies are just starting to get wise to what is the best liquid blush formula. I won't go through every swatch of these. I think it's better to probably watch my full review video. But the one that I found the most scary, but it actually looked quite good afterwards, was this really, really powerful, what's it called? Magic Aura it's called. Look at this. It does look terrifying, but I was able to make this work, believe it or not. Look at that. If I just shear it out a little bit so you can see what I mean. There it is, sheared out. They're not scary and they just blend like an absolute dream. They are gorgeous. One of the recent videos I did, I bought this one after I did my review, and I have done a shorts video of me trying this one on, and that was the is it lightning or lighting? Lightning. So I did the sunset blush look and used this as my top. So you have the red and then you have the pink and then you put the gold on the top, and it just gives you that sort of highlight finish. So I think of this more of a highlighter than an actual blush, which I'm sure was the intention really, or certainly for mixing. These are really good fun. I said I wouldn't show you all these and I've ended up getting them all out now. But I've got different pinks and reddy shades. I just love them. I love playing around with them. It's good fun playing around with the colours and different combinations. So I highly recommend giving these a try. And if you haven't seen my review, check out my review of them and look out for my shorts video, which I did. In fact, as I'm talking about it, I could play it here for you now, so that would be better, wouldn't it? In fact, editing me probably has already played that for you, so ignore that. So I've been trying a new bronzer this month, which is not new, but it's new to me, and I wanted to show it because I'm always looking for the perfect cool tone bronze, and I think this one really is quite perfect, and it's from what is becoming one of my best brands ever, Fenty. So here it is. This is the shade Inda Sun 01, which I believe is their lightest, and this is called Sun Stalker Instant Warmth Bronzer, and I've used this pretty much every day since getting it. So this one and the What's Up Beauty are my current two favourites for a bronzer that suits my skin tone. So it's not completely cool. I'll show you it against the What's Up Beauty. I still think the What's Up one is slightly more of a perfect shade, but at the same time I find it hard to choose between them when I'm using them. So here is the What's Up Beauty. If I show you them next to each other, you can see there's a bit more warmth in the Fenty, and that's because the What's Up Beauty's just got these mix of shades. It is a beautiful one, it really is, and it is very similar when you see them next to each other. So there's What's Up Beauty and there's Fenty, so just a little bit less warmth. So very smooth for the Fenty, very smooth to apply, not remotely patchy. It's extremely quick and easy. So I've been alternating between these two for the best shade blush and also the best formula. I never over apply, it never picks up too much product, I don't get clumps of it and I have to work it out, which is such a nightmare when that happens when you've got fair skin. But yeah, I've really enjoyed that, so I just wanted to mention that. And something else I'm wearing today, because I was trying to pile on everything, was the Westman Atelier Contour Powder in Biscuit. So I've gone over my liquid contour that I applied, the Isamaya, and I've added the Biscuit from Westman Atelier. It's a beautiful powder formula, very easy to apply, works really beautifully. And I didn't actually go in with a bronzer today. So I just remembered I didn't use the Fenty today. So if I said that, I was wrong. I just used this. So I used it as contour, but I thought I'd use my bronzer blush and take a little bit of it all over. So that's actually what I'm wearing today, is just Biscuit as bronzer and contour. So that worked very well for me. And then Petal, I already know I love Petal. So this launch, the Petal is probably my favourite blush shade from them, and this is my favourite contour. So the two together was always going to be the perfect choice for me. The packaging on these, beautiful, nice stand-up mirror, very expensive for what it is, but it's Westman Atelier, and you're getting that matte finish, but beautiful, almost blends itself, gorgeous formulas. So I really do like them very much, but I think you can get products as good for less, is what I'm trying to say. But I did say in my review that I was stunned that this was, I think, 70 odd pounds, and you only get, what does it say, 4.8 grams. But that is each. I thought it was for the whole thing, so it is for each. So it's actually much better than I feared. So I do apologise to Westman Atelier, not that they're likely to be watching me, but if you are by any chance, I do apologise for saying that it was 4.8 for the whole thing. It's actually just for one. So each. So this one is the other one I picked up, and this one is the Coquette and Mimi, I believe. Yeah, Mimi is actually a blush, not a bronzer, even though it does look a bit like a bronzer here. Mimi's a lovely shade for me, sort of autumn winter blush shade. I really do like it. And then Mimi, they work together beautifully, so I like layering these two together. Very nice together. But obviously Mimi for that soft blush, very sort of spring perfect. And then, sorry, this is Mimi. Coquette, very spring perfect. Mimi for me, perfect for autumn winter. But they're the only two shades I picked up, but I can't complain about the formula. If you like a really reliable, not flat matte either, it's not flat. but it is matte and very easy to blend. Beautiful, beautiful formula, gorgeous packaging. And I think the only thing I'd say is I'm not sure they've paired them together in a way that works for everybody. So when you're paying that much, I think it would be nice if you could choose which two go together rather than having to get certain ones together. Like the Coquette and Mimi, I'm not sure I would want those two to, but saying that, they layer together very well. So I can't complain about mine. But do you know what? I've got sitting here the Pink Gasm wand from Charlotte Tilbury to show you how similar that is. Let's just totally backtrack quickly and I'll show you. I've got this basket sitting here in front of me with everything I'm showing you, and it was sitting in there, so I clearly thought about it. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury and this one is the Flame from Dior. So look how similar they are. Title of the Charlotte Tilbury one, if you're looking for it in your collection, is the Pink Gasm Sunset, the Beauty Light Wand Easy Highlight Blush. So that's a highlight as well. So very much intended for exactly the same purpose, and they look the same. So you might already have Flame if you've got that one. I do believe that was a limited edition shade, so I'm not sure if you can still buy that one from Charlotte, but just letting you know. And now onto another blush. We had new blushes from Lancome. Actually, I picked up two shades of this, I believe. This is called the Lancome Absolute Blush Subtil. Subtil? Yeah, Subtil. I'm sure I'm butchering that pronunciation, so apologies. These are quite glowy and they're quite pink. Well, they look bright. These are a bright addition to their shades if you look at it compared to their previous shades. But this looks like a really, really bright pink, but it certainly doesn't apply like too much of a bright pink. It's Pink Ooh La La. Apologies for Florrie. So you can see straight away it's just nowhere near as alarming as it looks in the pan, and it's that sort of perfect bubblegum pink. Very much like the Huda. I should actually pair the two together, you know. I need to do that. In fact, I'm going to put them together now to remind me to try that. And the other one is Coral Crush, I think it was called, the one I got. Yes, this one's more of a peach, and this one has more of a shimmer in it. I think the pink is more of a, well, it isn't a shimmer, it's more of a glow, a luminescent glow. There's no signs of glitter in it, but it does have that shine. And see, the pink is more of a sort of almost matte finish, but there is a bit of a glow in both. But the Coral Crush has, I can't say Coral Crush. Coral Crush. It's like a highlighter. Gorgeous formulas. Again, super easy to apply. Lancome just don't do bad powder formulas, do they? And the packaging on these, very nice packaging. Getting a good stand-up mirror. Very nice. And they do supply a brush, which I've already got rid of because I don't use them. But anyway. Very, very nice. Definitely recommend, and like I said, I will put that pink one here and try it on top of that Huda. So maybe I'll do a short video of that at some point. I'll add that to my list. So Fenty launched new shades to add to their Suede Blush collection, and they also launched the full Suede Blush collection here in the UK, which they hadn't done until now. So I hadn't been able to get my hands on one of these. So because of that, can you see my obsession with Fenty? It is quite bad. I do need help with my Fenty obsession, don't I? But I'll just look at the new ones for now, but I can tell you I'm working my way through all of these and trying them with different looks. Obviously with all the different blushes coming through, it's not easy to try them. But this one is called Just a Crush, and this is one of their shimmery finishes, and it's just, the formula is, this is the silkiest blush. It is, this one. Oh. Fenty just make my day. They really make my day. Look at that. Just look at it. I've done a video of me putting this on eyes and cheeks, and it is, oh, it's beautiful. I just can't rave enough about Fenty, honestly. I adore them. And then I got Water Brat, which is actually from the original release, but I'll just quickly show you because it's the same formula, that shimmer finish. Look at the two of them. Just wow. What was the other new shade? I'm trying to remember which ones were new. Oh, 22 Turned was new, and that was shimmer. They only launched new shimmer ones, which was obviously very good for me from a reviewing point of view because I was going to buy them if they're shimmers. So 22 Turned is another glorious, glorious blush. This one wasn't new, but this is Drama Class, and this is gorgeous. This is one of their shimmering finishes as well. Just look at the back of my hand, it's just pure beauty. I can't remember which is the third one that was new, but anyway, I'm not going to drag this video out. Go and watch my Fenty Suede Blush review if you'd like more information. But all I can tell you is you can't get enough of these. They're just gorgeous, whether you get the shimmer or the matte. Maybe I should show you a matte actually, just for comparison quickly. So I've got here the Sundress Susan. I keep saying Susan, but it's Season. So you can see the matte formula. So that's the matte, which has quite a bit of luminosity and shine, but these are the shimmer finishes. I just think they're the best blushes ever. They all blend out really, really beautifully. They're very pigmented, you need to be careful, but they're very easy as long as you're careful. Just take a tiny little amount on your brush and go for it. They're going to suit all skin tones because you can build these up or you can just go light. And they're gorgeous. And I like to keep this huge pile here on my desk. I've just dug my nail right into that. And match them up with whichever look I'm doing. So, highly recommend. And the one I'm wearing today, which isn't my favourite blush, but it's my favourite for a different reason, and that is the Charlotte Tilbury absolutely gorgeous Soulmates collection. So I'm wearing today the Pillow Talk Flawless Peach. So I'm obsessed with hearts, I collect them, so this was the most beautiful packaging on the planet, and if you don't like it, that's absolutely fine. I completely understand, but I adore it. And today I've got on this peachy blush, and I've used this to soften, and that's why it beats Fenty in that respect, and why I've had to choose it as my favourite, because it's included with these a sort of matching or complementary setting powder which you can use under the eyes to brighten and anywhere else you want to use it. But for me, what I particularly love this for is going around the edges of the blush and softening. So this shade is too dark for me to go under the eyes, but I still used it today to soften around the edges, and it's perfect. It gives you the perfect airbrush finish. And when you use the two together, despite this being matte, it doesn't sit like a flat matte. I think the glow seems to come a little bit almost when you add the airbrush powder. So the best way of doing this, if you've got a deeper skin tone, use this under your eyes to brighten, then go under underneath the blush, then add the blush, then smooth out the edges with this. That's my favourite way of doing it. But if you're my sort of matching tone, so you're fair to light, then this is the pink one, and this pink powder will work as your under eye brightener. It's perfect for that. It's a perfect brightening powder, but also perfect for exactly the same thing. And so today, I actually used both today. I did the blush and I went around the edges with that, but I did go in with this one when I finished putting my highlighter on, because I used that highlighter I showed you from Dior, which is quite bright, the Tutu, and then I went in with the setting powder to just sort of finish. I say setting, it is a finishing powder essentially, isn't it? To sort of finish the whole face. So I use that as well. And I've dipped into this setting powder so many times. I really hope that Charlotte comes out with these setting powders as standalones, because they are so good. Even though I've told you I found my favourite setting powders, I still think I want one of these, because this is a finishing powder for me, not a setting powder. And to have a finishing powder in this colour is perfect, so absolutely love them. The blushes are beautiful, very easy to blend. I love this release from Charlotte, love it. And I've used it so much, especially the pink, because it's just more everyday use for me. But I've used the peach today. I think the shade is gorgeous. I've got slightly warmer lips and cheeks today. Next up, I tried the Haus Labs Bio Radiant Glassy Highlighter Balm. And I got this in the pink opal, I believe it was called, if I can read it. Yeah, pink opal. Beautiful shade, and it's one of these fully wind up and down versions. And if I show you what it looks like, look at that, it is beautiful. I felt like the pink disappeared a bit once you sort of slightly sheared it out, and it does have a little bit of a tacky finish, and does look very much a wet look, which is what it promises. So if that's what you're looking for, it works perfectly. Very easy to work with. Not my favourite type of highlighter, if I'm going to be honest with you, because of that sort of real wet look finish. But if I am looking for a wet look finish, I can't think of a better formula out there, and I think that shade is really, really nice. So I can't knock it for that. But something I probably enjoyed more was the recommendation at the time from the site to try this shade of their blush. So this isn't new, but it was new to me. So this is Glassy Lilac, and this is very easy to blend out, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous colour. I tried the two together, but I think I would probably prefer to go in with a powder highlight. So that's how it looks once you blend it out. It is the perfect shade for me again. So that was a really good find for my skin tone. So I've had a really good month for finding my perfect shade of blushes, and I love this. I'm definitely going to put this here along with the Huda Beauty in Bubblegum and try and use those quite regularly because they're really pretty. So that wasn't new, but that was the best part of ordering the highlighter from Haus Labs. I think I'll be putting this one away for occasional use. It's not really my thing, if I'm honest. So now on to eyeshadows, and I think this has probably been my favourite month so far of the year for eyeshadows, and we're having a good year for eyeshadows, better than last year. Last year was a bit flat. Apart from the beautiful Byredo Mineralscapes, which came early in the year, we didn't really get good eyeshadows until the holidays. This year we're getting good eyeshadows from the get-go, right from January, so it's really good. Maybe eyeshadow palettes are making a comeback, and Lisa Eldridge certainly brought us an absolute stunner. My official favourite eyeshadow palette from Lisa Eldridge now. I love this, and when I went on holiday recently, this was the eyeshadow I took with me. I took two actually, the Chanel Camellia, which I love too, and this. They're my top two recommendations for spring, summer. Easy application, beautiful, match up with all your outfits if you love to wear lilacs and pinks, which I do. This is stunning. I've worn this so many times. But I did tell you it's been the best month of the year so far for eyeshadows, so it's not what's on my eyes. But I did also say that I haven't necessarily got my favourites because I'm not sure I can actually give you a favourite. The one I want to reach for the most is the one on my eyes, so if you've guessed which one that is, please do comment below. But that's not the one, that's not this one. But to be fair to this palette, I've worn it so many times that that might be why I'm reaching for the one I did. But let me just very quickly just swatch the beautiful lilacs in this one. And there's also a sort of duochrome. Look at them. Stunning. These formulas are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And I love actually mixing this one, which is quite a warm one, because these colours match Lisa's cat, the shade of Lisa's cat fur, which is something special. But here it is. I really liked it. I thought it was quite odd to be in the palette until I tried them together, and I really liked it with this one here, which is the lighter lilac. So beautiful formula, very, very easy to work with. So many one and done shades in there. You probably saw from those swatches, they'd all work as one and dones. So you can get so much from this palette. You can get a lilac look, you can go for a neutral look if you just use these ones here. You can get one and dones from pretty much all of them. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Usual beautiful packaging from Lisa, but yeah, definitely a standout and my favourite from Lisa. And then from Viseart, and I don't know if this is gone. They did say once this is gone, it's gone. So I don't know, I think it is gone, but I'm still showing you because it is an absolute favourite. And it's lived in my top drawer since the day I got it and tried it. And that is this one, which is called the Paris Matte Attendu. So this is all Paris, sorry, this is all matte. I do love an all matte palette from Viseart. You will not find a better matte formula on the planet than Viseart. They have the best mattes, and I love the fact that this is such a sort of cool tone friendly palette. There are slightly warm shades, very slightly. This one is a little bit warmer here, but the majority of this is all cool tone. But you can get every look from this. You can get every essential shade from this. This is the perfect base sort of palettes. You've got your black here for lining, and then you've got sort of lighter liners if you wanted to go for this one here that's a bit reddy. Then you've got your inner corner under the brow, or you could use this one for that, and you could use that one for it. You can create a beautiful cool tone lilac-y purple base or a brown base. So many options, but these colours are perfection. I've tried a full look with this with no topper, and I've tried it with many other toppers. So this is now living in my top drawer with my other constants, which I keep in my top drawer, the mattes, such as the Master Mattes from Makeup by Mario, the neutrals, and it's living there with that one. They're going to be, I think, my top two most used matte palettes. So on to the next one, which I don't have on my eyes, but I love as much as the Lisa Eldridge. I can't give these positions above each other, and that is the Natasha Denona Bloom. I adore this. I was a little bit concerned about just how warm it is because cool tones do suit me probably better, but I'm not prepared to stop using peachy colours. I do think they really suit blue eyes, and I think they suit me, and every look I've created with this so far I've absolutely loved. The only shades I don't use quite as much are the sort of reddy ones, but they are still very nice because I can use them and mix them with the peaches. And some of my, sorry about Florrie, she's an absolute pest. And some of my favourite peaches, this one I think is Fluorescence, and then this gorgeous one here. What else should I show you? If I just show you three, let me show you something different. Let's go for this more reddy toned one. But these formulas, the mattes are all gorgeous as well, but oh, I love that one. That's Fluorescence, the really bright sort of peachy one. There, look at them. Sensational. Natasha Denona can do no wrong, can she? She just can't. So I've loved everything I've created with it. I love the matte formulas. I love the shimmer formulas. And I think you can get quite a wide range of looks, but you are obviously getting a peachy pink vibe no matter what you do with this. So even if you go for the reds, it's going to be slightly, it's going to be very warm pinky. It's quite hard to make it pinky without it getting that peach vibe. So you are going to get a pinky peach look. You can really change it up by going for mattes like this brick, which I really liked, and this one, which is the more deep red toned matte. So you can change it up, or you could just skip these all together and go with this brown here, and then you could go for quite a neutral look, really, quite a simple look. But lots of these shades would work as one and dones. So you just go for something simple like one of these mattes and just one of these shimmers across the lid to go for a really simple look. You're covered for everything. You've got, like I said, liner. I wouldn't say the inner corner shade works on my skin tone. I'd probably need a slightly lighter one. But for lots of you probably find that this one here works as your inner corner. But this one works as my inner corner. If I want to go for a slightly shimmery inner corner, it works quite well on me actually, despite having mature skin and under the brow. So I wouldn't say it's my favourite from Natasha because Retro Glam still is to be beaten. It's because it's got greens in. I love greens. But I just, if I do a Natasha Denona ranking video ever, I think I would struggle so much. Right now, I'd probably be putting that in the top 3. But I'm saying that off the top of my head. If I actually ranked it, I don't know. I can imagine it being joint 3rd with everything else. Retro Glam still number 1. Anyway, and is that the last eyeshadow palette? Apart from the one on my eyes? I think it is, yes. So now we're moving to the one on my eyes. Have you guessed which one I've got on my eyes? The one that's the most recent from all of them. It's a bit of a mess because I've used it a lot since getting it. And that is Petal Morphosis from Pat McGrath. So today I've got just shimmers. I thought I would try because the mattes in this are quite intense. And if you don't want to go for the green, which will really sheer out, by the way, if you didn't see my review, I did a full look where I used the green in 3 ways. So I used it as my transition, very lightly blended out, used it more built up to do the outer V, and then I used it to line, and it did all 3. So you can go for a very, very light shade of this, or you can go for these two. Now this one's got a bit of shimmer in, it's slightly peachy, but this one, obviously you're going for that sort of mauvey purple background. I wanted to change it today, so I went in with this shade, which I haven't used much, the bronzy shimmer, to see how it works if you use it as your transition. So that's what I've got on today. So I think it works really nicely as a transition shade. So that's basically the transition and outer V. And then I took the peachy one all across the lid, and then I went in with this stunning, I love this so much, this sort of metallic-y green as my liner. It's become my favourite way to line my eyes lately. I love it so much, the sparkly green liner. And then a tiny bit of iris in the inner corner, which I was a bit worried about doing. I did say in my initial review I wouldn't use iris in the inner corner because it's too shiny for my mature eyes. I was just using this, which works perfectly as inner corner. But it did work, as long as I just used a very sort of thin pencil. I think I went in with this one, Refa number 3, so I just got a little bit. So I'm not spreading it out and getting it into those lines that can look dreadful on me. So yeah, using that fine tipped brush, this worked really nicely on me, and I was really, really happy with it. Every look I've created with this so far, I've really, really enjoyed. I'm particularly wowed by these 2 shades here. So this one is the Iris, which can be used on its own because you do get enough of a pop of lilac, but you can also use it as a topper to completely transform the way a shade looks. But these two in particular are the standouts for me. Look at those. Look at those. Now I know that there's been so many different thoughts and views on the Pat McGrath release, saying it's not as good as the previous ones. If you watch my review, I did swatch all of these against the original baked formulas, and I swatched it against some of the current really top baked formulas on the market like Tom Ford, and I felt that a number of these really stood up. I think the only thing that maybe has changed with Pat is Pat isn't the best anymore, but I believe she's standing up with some of the best, and that's just my opinion. But I do use a lot of eyeshadows. I've got a massive collection, so that is my fairly not well informed, because it is an opinion, but I've got a lot of experience of using eyeshadows, and I don't think these formulas are particularly bad at all. And I think it's worth remembering that Mothership 10 was very, very popular and got raved about. That did not have baked formulas either. So I'm starting to feel like knocking Pat McGrath is almost becoming a trend. And I feel like I have to say that because I've seen this happen with so many brands. It's, you know, like, I don't want to name brands. I don't like getting into controversy. But it just gets me down a bit when this happens, because I still think these are beautiful. The price hasn't gone up, and most makeup has gone up, so Pat didn't increase the price, which might just about make things fair for not adding those baked formulas. But they are still extremely special formulas. These two in particular, this one as well, is equally special. And I do think that this peachy one and the bronze one, which I've just used today, are also really, really special. And there they are. I really think that it's a beautiful colour story, very different, colours that can be really nice if you work them together. I love them. I think it's just a question of playing around with it. Look on the Pat McGrath Instagram page, where Pat releases lots of videos showing different ways to put looks together. Get inspiration from that and maybe give it a go, because it's beautiful. I love the packaging. And I do hope that Pat McGrath continues to come out with exciting eyeshadow palettes. I certainly won't be trashing the next Mothership unless I dislike it. I'm not trashing this one. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon, and I know that that might be controversial, but that's honestly how I feel. One eyeshadow palette I haven't actually reviewed on my channel from NARS, which I completely forgot about, is this one. This is the Afterglow Tempting palette. I thought this was the perfect sort of spring palette, so I picked this up, but I think the reason I've forgotten is the two looks I created with this off camera, not in review, I didn't really enjoy that much. I just thought they were okay. I did think these shimmers looked particularly beautiful, but I think it just needed more of the sort of light mattes, and the shimmers were just like, when I think the Pat McGrath ones I just swatched then, look at these compared. Not that I'm saying it has to all be like the Pat McGrath, but it's just okay. And I was just left a bit uninspired. That's more of it. It's just, I don't like giving bad reviews, but I'm just going to say this is a bit average and leave it there. Now onto something I absolutely loved, and that was the new launch from Merit Beauty. They launched lip liners, and they launched their new gloss formula in the shade Slick Sheen. So every combination I did of these I absolutely loved, so highly recommend looking for my video where I tried all of these on. The liners, they are very, very creamy. They look like they're going to be like the Rhode ones and have no longevity, but despite being very creamy and rubbing off the back of my hand, they actually had quite good longevity. You're not going to get all day out of these, but you are going to get reasonable longevity. That's how creamy they look. They're super easy to apply, so if you're somebody who struggles or you're in a rush with lip liner, these would be perfect, and they will see you through a good few hours. So I'll just quickly swatch the ones that I did get. Mayfair, that one's Bespoke, and this one is Coupe. They're all very sort of neutral shades, and you can wear them with lots of different things really. So you can match them up, or you can make more of a contrast lip. I thought that this new formula is the best formula that Merit have come out with so far, in my opinion. I love this slick sheen. That could have gone very wrong then. So which one have I got here? Pointel, sort of light pink. They're all very sheer, but they do carry enough pigment to show up, and with the liner they look really, really good. And one of them I got actually isn't a new formula, isn't the sheen, so I won't show you that one. The other one I got in the new formula is called Twin Set. So you get a lot of hydration from these, and they're not sticky, they're quite grippy, and one of my favourite liner and lip combinations I've done in a while actually. It's so easy to apply. So that one's Twin Set there, you can just about see. There's not a lot of pigment, but just enough, and the liners really help them to pop. And you get much more longevity from the liner than you do from the lip gloss. The gloss only lasts about an hour, in all honesty. But they do look very nice, and they're very easy to top up. They have sat on my desk and they're going to stay there for now. I'm getting a bit cluttered with all the favourites I'm keeping on my desk. But the lip liners are going to go straight into my lip liner collection, and I'm going to be using these regularly. So Charlotte Tilbury, with her Heart collection, the Soulmates collection, launched 4 Pillow Talk lipsticks. 2 of them in the matte formula and 2 of them in the kissing formula. Both of the shades in the matte formula are very rich in shade, so they're very occasional use for me, but I do love the matte formula. So this one is Dream Talk, and these also, by the way, have all the hearts wrapped around the actual lipstick. And there it is. So it's a very rich shade. They really last, but they're soft and comfortable and velvety. They're very, very nice matte formula if you like a matte lip. And then this is the other one here. This one's a warmer tone. This one's called Love Talk. And then we had the 2 kissing formulas, which have stayed on my desk, and I'm actually wearing one of those right now. They've stayed on my desk because they're more regular use. So I've got the warmer tone, which is not my favourite of the 2, but I thought it matched up with what I was wearing today. So this one's Naughty Talk. I love it, but I would not say it's better than the other one, which I think has become my favourite Charlotte Tilbury lipstick. So there's Naughty Talk, a very good sort of everyday nude shade, quite a good match for the original Pillow Talk as well. And here is my favourite. This one is Kiss Talk. So this one is a really true pink, something we haven't seen from Charlotte in a long time. And this does not match up with Pillow Talk Fair, which I did a comparison video. Do look out for that on my shorts video, or I'll play it now actually. Here is here is Kiss Talk. So this is much more of a true pink compared with Pillow Talk, and it's gorgeous. So the kissing formula is super hydrating. I love both of them, but especially Kiss Talk, which has made me so happy. Oh, there's so much noise going on today. No matter how much my husband knows I'm filming, he cannot shut the door when he's doing things in the kitchen, and he makes a noise. He drives me round the bend. And he's, oh, I forgot. But he still does it. So apologies for dogs and husbands being noisy in the background. I'm nearly at the end. So I also tried the lip duos from Dolce & Gabbana, which I thought were really gorgeous, the packaging in particular. So these come in duos they've put together for you. So I've got number 1, which is Whisper. So here is the packaging of the liner, and the liner is fully retractable, and it has a little sharpener in the bottom. So very good packaging. I quite like the gold band around the centre with their symbol on. Lovely actually, very high-end packaging. So I'll put all of these next to each other so you can see them. Whisper was the most everyday friendly sort of duo, I thought, out of the 3 I got. There are 6 duos I think in total. And here is how the gloss packaging looks. Again, very, very nice. And it's got that, is it click up or twist up? Click up, yeah. So you need to only click up what you need because it won't go back down, which is a very common sort of type of packaging. So there is Whisper, the 2 together there. Like I said, very good everyday wear. And then I've got number 3, which is called Chat. This is a neutral brown liner and a chocolate pink duochrome gloss. So there is number 3, Chat. And then my favourite, my easy favourite actually, was number 6, which is Bite. And that one has a rich berry liner and a berry pearlescent gloss. So So that was my favourite. The liners have got excellent longevity, by the way, and the gloss lasts probably about 2 hours. It's got a reasonable longevity, good hydration, not sticky. They're really beautiful. I think they make a lovely gift for somebody because they're quite fancy packaging. They're certainly not a cheap duo to buy, but they're beautiful. So really enjoyed those. And now onto 2 mascaras, one of which I've only done a shorts reel for, so I'll play the shorts reel because I haven't mentioned it on my channel, and that is the Benefit Bounce. And this, you can see in the clip, this really increased the volume of my lashes, certainly made quite a considerable difference, but it did weight them down a bit so they didn't stand up and hold their curl. Also, it doesn't separate, it's a bit more clumpy, and when I went in for the second layer, you know when if you touch your lashes they feel all crumbly and it all crumbles away in your finger? That's what happened with the second layer. So I've got to say, I'm not really a big fan. This doesn't separate and lengthen, it just gives you volume, and only one layer really worked well on me. I like the packaging. And for transparency, I was gifted this by Benefit, so thank you very much for that, Benefit, but it's not my favourite, unfortunately. But anyway, one that was my favourite is this one from Lisa Eldridge, which I'm wearing today, and I've worn so much since I got this. I would say 9 out of 10 days since I got it, I've had this on my eyes. It is the Lisa Eldridge Burnt Umber Kitten Lash. I love the Kitten Lash mascara. When it launched last year in black, it was my favourite. Well, one of my absolute favourites. This was a few. I'm saying my favourite because I change my mind all the time, but I haven't changed my mind about this one. This one and the Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerize became my top 2, and this one, along with actually the Chanel, the newly launched Chanel mascara in brown. I'd say I like this one a tiny bit more than Chanel, and I think the reason for that would be the shade of it. It's got a slightly reddy tone to it, being burnt umber, and also it's more waterproof. I took this one when I went to Budapest. We had so much rain literally in my face, and at no point did a speck of mascara move, even when I had rain in my face. It is just bulletproof. It is fantastic. I love it. You will not get a better mascara ever. I challenge you to show me a better one. It's beautiful. Lastly, 2 fragrances. So I have mentioned before in one of my reviews the new Kayali, because I absolutely adore this one. The notes on this one are the keynotes: Juicy Pear, Sweet Peach, Rose Royale, Pink Peony, Violet Wood and Purple Musk. So this is floral, but it's much more fruity than it is floral. So you get that hint of floral, but you get mostly the fruits. This is perfect for spring and summer. I adore it. I love the packaging. I love the different shifting colours. I think it's really, really nice, and it's nice to have something a little bit different, I think, from the standard Kayali packaging, because it's giving that spring summer vibe, and I love it. It's up there with one of my favourites from Kayali. I'm not going to say it's going to beat the marshmallow one, which I think is my favourite now, but this one, I actually layered the 2 together, and that was perfection. But it's very hard to pick a favourite. I love the lychee as well. I also love the pistachio. The gelato pistachio, I think it's called, and I love the burnt sugar. I love a lot of Kayali, but this is probably in my top 3. This one, the lychee, and the marshmallow bougie, I think it's called. I'm not going to go and grab it now, but yeah, absolutely love it. And also this one and the marshmallow, they both have more longevity than previous Kayalis, and this one, I actually sprayed this on something. Again, this happened with marshmallow, and 3 days later I got the same top out because I didn't wash it, and it still smelled so strong. I thought, I don't need perfume. So it really hangs on, especially to clothes and hair. So that's great that the longevity's improved so much with Kayali, because that was lacking from the original Kayalis, I think. And now for one that's got less longevity and is very different, but I really like it, and that's this new one here from Glossier. I couldn't remember the name then. So a bit of information about this one. This is the Glossier U. They've been launching different fragrances other than the standard. I've only got the original U, and I really like it for that very fresh perfume that you can just spray quite liberally, and it just makes you feel almost like you've just got out the shower fresh feeling. It's not very high in fragrance, they never are. It's very much a comforting fresh vibe, which is something very different to what I look for with something like Kayali. So the notes on this, so it's described as an airy and luminous floral blend. Glossier U Fleur is a personal skin scent enhancer. So So the idea is it's personal to you. I remember that with you, wasn't it? That was the whole concept, that it's very personal to you. It smells different on everyone. And the top scent in this is Mineral Salt Accord. The middle is Osmanthus, Lang Lang and Apricot, and Apricot Skin, sorry, and Cashmeran. And then the base note is Ambrox. So I don't have a perfume on today, so I'm going to spray this on now. Every time I've sprayed it, it's not one of those ones that knocks your socks off and you think, wow, that's my favourite fragrance. It's just a joy. It's just a really pleasant, beautiful, everyday, joyful fragrance. That's how I felt with you. I think I might ever so slightly prefer this one to you. You can smell you. If you know the original Glossier You, then you will know you're getting hints of that coming through. I don't know which of the notes actually match up. I'm not going to go into all that now, but it's just got that slightly more fruity edge to it. So it's more suitable again for spring summer, but I wouldn't say You isn't. You is very much spring summer appropriate. I love the packaging, and obviously the colour has drawn me in because I've got this lilac obsession. So yeah, really enjoyed that. I'm very glad I picked it up. It really is lovely. And when you're moving into spring, you know, you often clean the house and freshen up, especially now here in Wales. The sun is starting to come out, the weather's starting to get better, it's warming up, the sun is flooding through the windows, and you just want to clean your house and freshen up. That's what that perfume makes me think of, that fresh vibe. I really like it. Anyway, I'm going to stop there. I'm sure this video is going to be hours long. It's just, it always is with my monthly roundups because of the amount of things I review, but I like to really give you as much information as I can of everything I've tried and what I'm really thinking of it, so you can, I know some of you may hold off buying until end of month review, so that's why I do go into so much detail. So I do hope that this is helpful for you, and I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please do hit the like button and the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and if you are subscribed, you're at the end of another video, and I really appreciate you for being here, and I hope to see you all again for my next video. Take care everybody, bye.